If you're a parent or a teacher, you have almost certainly been here. You've got a child who is struggling not just with their schoolwork, but with their behavior too. It's a really tough spot to be in, and it always leads to this one super frustrating question.
Right? It's the classic chicken or the egg problem, isn't it? What's the cause and what's the effect? Trying to figure out where the whole thing starts can feel absolutely impossible. Do you focus on the behavior first, or do you try to fix the academic issues? Well, for a long time, even scientists were kind of all over the map on this. Different studies came to different conclusions. But that's all changing. We are about to dive into a massive new piece of research that finally cuts through all that confusion and gives us a clear, data-driven answer. So let's get into it.
To really get to the bottom of this, researchers didn't just conduct one more small study. No, they went way bigger. They combined decades of research into what's called a meta-analysis.
A meta-analysis is an incredibly powerful tool. Think of it this way. Instead of just taking one photo of something, imagine combining thousands of photos to create this single, ultra-high-resolution image. You see the bigger, truer picture. That's exactly what a meta-analysis does, but with data.
And the picture they put together here was enormous. The data they analyzed covered nearly 125,000 students. And no, that is not a typo. That is a gigantic sample size, which means the findings are incredibly reliable. See, by pooling the results from 70 different studies that follow the same kids over a long period of time, they could finally spot the overarching pattern, something that was totally hidden if you were just looking at one study at a time. So what did this huge study of studies actually find?
Well, the answer wasn't what a lot of people might have expected. It turns out this isn't a one-way problem. It is a vicious, two-way street.
Now, let's look at the actual language from the scientific paper. It says there's a bidirectional predictive relation. I know, that sounds a little dense and academic, but that one word, bidirectional, that's the whole ballgame.
It means we've been asking the wrong question this whole time. It's not chicken or the egg. The data shows, clear as day, it's the chicken and the egg. The two problems are creating and reinforcing each other at the exact same time.
And this breaks it down perfectly. You've got two pathways running simultaneously. On one hand, yes, a kid acting out in class absolutely predicts that their grades will drop later, but just as powerfully, a kid struggling with schoolwork and getting poor grades predicts that their behavior is going to get worse later. They feed each other.
And look at this chart. This is fascinating. It shows the statistical strength of that connection. The bar on the left, behavior predicting grades, is at about negative 0.082. The bar on the right, grades predicting behavior, is at negative 0.076. Now, the key thing here isn't the exact numbers, it's how close they are. They are almost identical. One isn't really stronger than the other. It is a perfectly balanced negative feedback loop.
So, if we know it's a vicious cycle, the next logical question has to be, is there anything that makes it spin even faster? Well, the researchers looked into that, too.
So, are there certain factors that are kind of like pouring gasoline on this fire? The answer is a big yes. And interestingly, they found different factors for each side of this two-way street.
For that first path, where bad behavior leads to bad grades, the link gets even stronger when inattention is a major problem. It also gets stronger when the check-ins on the student are closer together in time. And they also noted a demographic factor. The effect was stronger in study groups with fewer white participants, which points to some real complexities that need more research.
Now let's look at the other direction, where poor grades fuel bad behavior. What makes that link stronger? Well, what do you know? Inattention pops right back up again. The connection is also stronger when it's teachers reporting the behavior as opposed to parents, and when the academic struggle is tied to something really concrete, like literacy or the student's GPA.
So, did you catch the common thread there? Inattention. Inattention-related issues make the negative cycle worse from both directions. This really suggests that a child's inability to focus is a powerful accelerator for this whole downward spiral. It's a huge red flag.
Okay, so I know this all sounds pretty bleak. A vicious cycle doesn't sound great. But believe it or not, these findings are actually incredibly hopeful. Because if you understand how the cycle works, you can figure out how to break it.
This is the huge takeaway. We have to stop thinking of this as a straight line where we have to find the one true starting point. That was the old way of looking at it. The data shows us a much more useful model.
This knowledge completely reframes the entire conversation. It's no longer about blaming the kid for their behavior or blaming the teacher for the bad grades. It's about recognizing that a struggling child is caught in a trap
And the real question becomes, where can we step in to help them get out? And because it is a cycle, that means you have more than one place to intervene. You don't have to choose. In fact, what this research strongly suggests is that the best approach is to do both. Provide behavioral support, and that can help improve grades. Provide academic support, and that can help improve behavior. You can attack the problem from both sides at the same time.
So that really leaves us with the big final question to think about. For any one child who is caught in this loop, where's the best place to jump in? Where can you get the most leverage to break that cycle? Is it tutoring? Is it behavioral therapy? The science tells us it's a two-way street, and that means there are two places to start. The real challenge for all of us is figuring out the right one to start with for the right child at exactly the right time.